You guys remember these filters? So funny. You can't switch the filter though when you start recording. That's a shame. We used to have so much fun with these filters. Oh my God. One night we laughed our fucking ass off with these filters, me and my two friends. It was so funny. There was one where it like squished her head, and then me and my friend were on either side of her, and it squished her head. And we were like holding her and taking pictures, and we're like, "Oh, look, this is our friend with her tiny head." We thought it was hysterical. That was like a long time ago, and these computers came out. Okay, so I am exhausted. The space codes went on high last night. I don't think I wrote anything about it because I was so, yeah, I didn't write anything about it. We were going over the memories of time from these three houses and how these are three Victorian houses, and I did talk about them before. So they've existed since the Victorian times. And I want to say that this is Hal's house, like Hal's moving castle, and I have experienced that this year. And I want to say that there's dimensional doors on each side. And I saw, so like that's River Phoenix's door, and he's also a vampire called Romeo, which is combined with Ryan. And he ran into this door, and like he was like running into the store and like laughing. And then last night he walked in through a dimensional door on that side to hold me. And there were space codes given to me from River Phoenix that reflected his 3D life in which he passed. And there's like a few timelines in which he passed in that way. And one was the one recorded in this timeline. And then another one was where he died in his hotel room, which I want to say is what we experienced last night. And then we were shown the train spotting house is next door, and how that filled everybody with warmth actually, and it didn't have like such a like horrid like condescending vibe from the hoity-toity mundane that it carries now. The train spotting house. And I always watch train spotting and feel like super happy, and I feel like super warm, like thinking about my friends being like getting along with each other and like having fun. And so I always have like warm feelings about that movie, and that idea, and how they didn't choose life, how they chose to be undead. And I want to say death isn't real, and to remember that this is a video game, and to remember that my unconditional love codes are real, and that there's one real thing in the universe, and that is me, and that sometimes in this life I was a baby at some point. And um, also there's like an overlay of that house where it was a Hollywood house with Angelina and Brad and Marilyn Monroe. So Marilyn is actually Angelina's mom, and Angelina is my mom. I already told you that I have a timeline that Brad Pitt and Angelina were my mom and my dad, and they gave birth to twins, just like they have now, but it was Alyssa and Leo. And um, there's a timeline in the map that where that occurred. And so it was Marilyn, then Angelina, and then me, and in that order. And that timeline does exist, and it still exists. So I'm actually Marilyn's granddaughter, and that was reflected in The Crow with the girl and Darla, the that mom. So that's like another like idea of like the train spotting house. And so it's like this society, like totally, that's like completely looked down upon, right? But like, can we be curious and like open minded that maybe other possibilities exist outside of the hoity toity mundane, and that literally the living are choosing to be completely miserable, and maybe our perspectives are a little bit off kilter about what's real and what's fake. And I know that this video goes against the grain of like AA and stuff like that, but like maybe there's a little truth into that movie about being in a happy time with your friends, and being able to live out loud. And I think I already said that addicts experience samadhi, and they're very looked down upon in this society. And if you could just like kind of open up your mind a little bit and be curious about that, as to why we would make ourselves miserable in this life and call it living, and be completely, absolutely like miserable and like feel like slaves when we go to work, and just live in like these little boxes that just are like completely boring, and like we can't even interact with each other because like we know this is going on, but like we can't talk about it because it's like so crazy that like it's hard for like society to accept and stuff. Can we just kind of like have like an open mind about this being a discussion in the future, about how like society as a whole is maybe doing things wrong, and just maybe kind of like hold space for that if you're into that kind of thing, like holding space for like the curiosity of thinking in a different manner that may be inappropriate to the hoity-toity mundane, you know what I mean? And actually listening to yourself when those memories come up, and actually think about how you actually felt when those memories came up, instead of thinking about how society wants you to feel about those memories. And um, it's just like, so there's just, many ways to look at the same situation, and um, maybe accepting that if I am God, that I might have some solutions that are outside of the box, and that can offer you some grace in moments of neediness and moments of moments of joy, can be replaced with moments of calm surrender, I kind of want to say. And like in Train Spotting, how like they all go out, like, and they trashed or whatever, and then they go out for like breakfast, and they're all together, and then they like start drinking in the morning, and they're just like so super happy to like be with each other, and they just like are this little group and they like never leave each other's side, and like sure they fight, and then there's like bar bras, right? And like they're not afraid to like express themselves and like talk and like date people and like keep their like friend group tight and like um just maybe live like not according to society's norms and experience like happiness and play. And can we maybe like not look at people that live like that, I'm saying, in like a condescending manner, and maybe like go a little bit like into a higher realm where we can say that like there are feelings of ecstasy when you are surrounded by your friend group in that tight knit situation, and then you are allowed to be yourself. And so I think that that's a trend that I think a lot of young people are missing, and that I certainly did experience. Like a lot of like I definitely had like a very tight knit friend group my entire life where we were basically allowed to be ourselves, and now it's being the one molecule. I'm not allowed to, as dictated by Jeremy Schaller the other night in the weird mundane 70 that we were in. I'm not allowed to go out and like you know go out and like have a nice night at a bar with like a couple of friends, because like that's like seen as like, because I am seen as a married woman, right? I am seen as like Hayden Christensen's wife, even though you guys won't let me even be go near him in the physical realm. And because of that, it's like, you guys like see it as inappropriate for me to like go out and like have a nice, friends night, right, with my friends at a bar, because you guys are like so effed up in your heads that you can't see, like you get like the jealousy is so overwhelming. It's like I have to mix with like the mean ugly people of the world. Those are the only people that will like go out um to a bar with me, right? Like I have to be like the only people that like want to hang out with me are like the mean people that don't agree with me, and that is so that they can um, be mean to me, right? And that takes my energy, and that gets me locked up in the void. Because it's not Hayden taking me out. Like Hayden wants to take me out to the bar, but energy effects matter. And um, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one named Elissa Janello in the room, and because they said, there you go, telling yourself off. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one named Elissa Janello in the room. And if anybody else is named that, um, please come forward now and post your response video, other Elissa Janello. I'd love to hear that, okay? So, um, yeah, I just think it's an interesting thing. I mean, if vampires are real, which I want to say right now that vampires are real, then how real is the hoity-toity mundane, and how real is a train spotting house that makes a friend group feel happy, right? I'm pretty sure Rione had a train spotting type experience as well. I'm pretty sure that that goes up in generations. I'm pretty sure that sometimes people are not afraid to be themselves, even if it's against society, because they don't want to be here, because society is just so unfulfilling, and they stand up for themselves and completely be themselves. And there's a lot of people that push that to the limit. So, yeah, I just want to like offer um, kind of different perspectives on like experiences that might be outside of the norm, that people just some people have never experienced that kind of stuff because they look down upon it, and they find they're so condescending to anything outside of the hoity-toity mundane. And I just kind of want to say, maybe open your mind a little bit, and like don't think that maybe there's one route to society. There's just, it's hustle culture. You just have to hustle. That's the only thing you can possibly do. The only thing you can do is be a work culture robot, right? That's right. You're just a robot. Like that's literally all you are in the 3D. And like that's the only way people will look up to you, right? Like work hustle culture. Like here we go, got to start a new project. Like all the spiritual teachers are like, set your goals, start the new project, record that YouTube video, get that website up, call that new client, right? Am I speaking English here? Do I know what I'm talking about? Go around to new businesses. Just walk around your neighborhood. Just go to your local neighborhood and just walk around to businesses and like offer your services. Okay. Like just put yourself out there. Like that's all we hear nowadays is like work hustle culture. Okay. And that is keeping us locked into being robots or slaves. Are you a robot and or a slave? Right. So like that's literally all society does. And I'm saying that there are alternative lifestyles that humans are afraid to even look at that might offer a better solution, that might offer a little bit more happiness, right? Why is this cost of living skyrocketing? Because everyone is completely unhappy doing what they want. That's exactly why. And energy effects matter. It means you don't want to do that. It means society as a whole doesn't want to do that. So you have to start thinking outside of the box because you are unhappy, you are depressed, you bring all of your problems to your friends and you're constantly bitching and moaning, okay? And there are alternative solutions, to being happy that don't involve hustle culture, that don't involve being a needy employee that takes all of the energy from the semi-normal, semi-happy people that are able to get along with each other and go to bars once in a while. Let's start there, right? You are going to be eternally unhappy if you keep pushing us into this work hustle robot culture. Okay, so do you see how they get mad at me through me? It's so funny. So yeah, I just think that going over these memories from these different timelines, because time isn't real and we are time travelers, I think is worth exploring. And so I was grabbing those, and it was my dad talking to me about it, Brandon Lame. My dad was going over the memories with me. He said, "Do you remember the house next door and growing up there?" And I said, "Yes, I do, actually." And he's like, "And who else was there?" And I was like, "You mean Darla?" And he's like, "Yeah, what do you know? Darla was there." Okay, and who was my Darla? Marilyn Monroe. He's like, "Yeah, you have an alternate timeline where you're her granddaughter, and she gave birth to Angelina Jolie." And then, time isn't real. Like, can we accept that these things can occur and that vampires are real? So, so those were some of the memories, and from alternative timelines. And there was like another one where like Leo owned this house and I was his daughter. And okay, and then I opened portals on this side of the house. I opened the portals here, and I think I opened portals here, and then they go on the other side of there's three houses in a row, and they go on the other side of the last house. The portals also go there. And so space portals are real, and space portals are built by the queen, and that would be me, Elissa Janello. And so that happened last night. There was definitely there was so much fear and foreboding last night. Like it was so intense. It just felt like crazy, like fear and foreboding. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I think there was an alternative timeline. I woke up, I kept like waking up and like going to sleep again. Like I think I was quote unquote dying again last night. I'm like waking up like this, like that, you know? And because I think and then I woke up and I was like, why don't I just go to one of Hayden's events or whatever? And then I was like, I think I did go to one of Hayden's events and I think I fainted at his event because I was like, why does he have empathy for this woman in the crowd? And I think, again, it was a deleted timeline where I tried to go to one of his events and like get his attention, and I ended up fainting, and he saw me faint and he jumped down. And that means we have we have that recorded. We have a video of that somewhere, and you can see it. And I probably did, quote unquote, lose consciousness. And then the timeline was rewritten with like a clone, basically. And because those are called deleted timelines, because this is an occultism channel, an esotericism channel, and I have to talk about this to help keep planet Earth from literally sinking into Atlantis. All of these things are literally not real, and time travel is real. So that happened last night, and I just lost my thought of what I wanted to say. Oh, I saw my dad Colin talk to my dad Colin, and him being like, hang on, is this happening because every year you set us up for failure? Like, hang on here, you know? And because those are like my quartz inner thoughts. And I thought that was funny. And then I saw I saw the aliens get updated, the Zetas, because we don't like that feeling that they give to us in our head when we're being abducted by the Zetas, because it's literally the inorganic, synthetic feeling, and it feels completely awful. And so it feels completely awful. So I asked the Zetas to update their code, because that feeling is just like the worst feeling ever. And they did. And now the Zetas, who I am in control of, are now using the pain body when they abduct you. And that's why I had this giant like pain here or whatever, because I was experiencing their update. And it was a bone marrow transplant. So they're taking out my bone marrow transplant. And obviously some of that's for their update. And then they were using more of that to create the, what do we call them? The drones? I think they call them the drones. Droids. The droids. Thank you. I was asking, obviously you know who I was asking. The droids in Star Wars. And so they were using my bone marrow to start creating the droids so that they're more of an organic experience and they don't give us like a synthetic experience. And he came over, like one of the droids came over and he like zapped my toe. So he's like taking some particles from my toe, basically, for the droids as well. The droids. Pretty similar. So, and I mean, I didn't really sleep last night, right? You guys are like, I feel like you guys are like so judgmental and like so condescending. Like, I can just like feel it, you know what I mean? Like, when I say like one thing wrong and I'm like, oh yeah, and I made a mistake, sorry. And I just feel like over the screen, you guys are like, oh my God, she doesn't even know what they were in Star Wars. Like these are like women that have like literally never watched Star Wars in their life, but they're like still like choosing to be condescending. It's like freaking hilarious. Like, are you listening to me? And like, are you listening to me over walls? Like, can you cut me a break? Like, I'm probably like telepathic as AF and like gave y'all like, new gifts this year, and who the hell knows what gifts are on coming online right now. So, you're like, oh my God, she got like one little thing wrong. No way. Because that's what humans who think that they're better than God are like. And there you go, you're doing it again. I literally have zero energy, and you just like keep going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's trash Alyssa and put her in her void every single year. So, baby pics are real. You know what I mean? Christmas cards are real. Like, don't you just love family members that like never show up all year and then they're like, let me show off my family. Here's my family picture. Like, where do you want me to send it, Alyssa? Like, I want to send you my like Christmas card. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not like a terrible human at all. Like, just want to like show off my family and like not be like a good sister and like actually ask you how you are again, like never asking me how are you, like you know what I mean, like never like being just like kind and decent like humans, right? Like that's like how you are, but like every Christmas you're just like, where do I send the baby pictures to you? Because humans are real, babies are real. That's what I mean. It feels like no one is listening to me, right? Y'all say you're listening to me and say you're not that stupid. And then I get like these fucking weird ass messages like, okay, like what about a hi, how are you? It's so fucking opposite day, one sided in this human experience. And it drives me completely batshit crazy when you guys say that you care about me telepathically and you act like that and like in like humanity's world, okay? Like a just a how are you? You know what I'm saying? Like not one how are you like all year long, and then you're like, oh, I want to send you my baby pictures. Like it's such a big deal during Christmas, right? Because we're having such a great time on planet Earth, right? Living in the 3D simulation Sims game. It's just like so pathetic. It's just so pathetic. There's like I just can't stand when people can't be decent to me, to be honest. I literally can't stand it. Like if you can't like be decent to me like for the rest of the year, like forget about Christmas and me. Like just forget about it. Like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like am I pushing you away, or are you like that clueless that you can't like ask your royal sister how she is? You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep playing along with this hoity toity mundane world and see where it leads. It doesn't lead anywhere. We're completely miserable. Nobody's happy here. But yet we do the same freaking things every freaking year. Are people smart or people dumb? I don't know. I just got a text. Where do you want me to send the Christmas card this year? I got new baby pics. Are babies real? Is any of this real? It's just so annoying. Like not one hi, how are you like all year. Like I've been in New Jersey all year. I don't know. You know. It's like you want my attention, but like you literally cannot, you just cannot show up for me. And that's opposite day. That's opposite day. Okay? That's why it's like so freaking crazy. Like you guys can't accept that I'm the real one thing. And it's driving planet Earth literally insane every fucking year. Every fucking year. It's crazy. It is crazy. You know, there you go. See what I mean? Are they listening in? Like who is the weak sauce in the family? Which route to take? Are they listening in to like, oh, okay, well we can go this person. They're weak sauce. They're not listening in. They're not responding in like the right manner, right? Um, you know what I mean? Let's just keep going and like pretending that none of this is happening, right, Sean? Let's just keep going, like pretend we're not hearing what we're hearing when we're like, do you hear what you're saying via telepathy, via your thoughts? Do you actually hear what you're saying right now? Do you maybe want to like ask Alyssa like for a little help with that? No, I'm just gonna send her baby pictures and ignore her for the rest of the year. Like it's driving us crazy. It's literally driving us crazy. Like I can't take it anymore. It is driving us crazy. Like the telepathy has been on all freaking year and I hear you, okay? Even if nobody else does, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. You know, I've proven it to myself all freaking year. I can read your thoughts in real time. I hear what's going on. I hear these family conversations. Maybe it's, hey, like what Sean said. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sick of like being the only one supporting myself and like maybe you're the reason that like Colin can't come and pick me up today. Where's the belief in the self? You know? It's driving us fucking crazy. That's driving me crazy right now. That is literally driving me crazy. Like telepathy's been on all freaking year and then this is what I get, you know? This is what I get. It's driving me fucking crazy. It happens every fucking year. It's like you guys just can't like you can't accept that you are experiencing this stuff and it's making you so uncomfortable that you don't want to talk about it, right? But it's like it's going to make your life worse. Like it's not going to make your life better except not accepting the spiritual aspect. And it is how Mars fell. It is how Mars fell into Venus, the Venus trap, the Venus fly trap, the ace sphere. Doesn't Gigi talk about that? Right? Isn't that the entire like young mom, new mom narrative? And I am offering a solution. And supposedly you guys hear me and we talk over screens and like all the TikTok people are like, Alyssa, why are we doing this to ourselves and whatever? You know, and it's like I talk to you guys every freaking day and I try my freaking best to like get through to you. Somebody just dropped in to delete me. Um, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like it does affect the queen as well because you guys will not, you continue to not show up for me in a big way. And it like, I think that's probably where the fear and foreboding came from, right? Like it was so much fear and foreboding last night. It was just like, what is going to happen next? Like, where is this fear and foreboding coming from? Like, what the hell is going to happen next? You know, I'm trying to think of like what else I saw. Like, it was just like a bunch of like, um, so like, my dad, Colin Farrell, like um, had that conversation with himself. And then, yeah, I remember being like that scared and that terrified too, you know? And so, what else happened? It was like a bunch of crazy stuff on my Black Mirror, but I can't remember any of it right now. And I already told you it was like the house codes and stuff like that. And they obviously kept showing up to like, oh, and there was like, oh, and I got a blast of light from my lamp, which was next to me from Claire, and she was blasting me with my crown energy. She was like blasting me with my crown energy. I think she was like giving me my energy back. And then she was blasting me with this pink color here, like a ton of it. And I already told you like about the oh no, I didn't tell you about the oh yeah, and then there was the night vision goggles, which you guys call virtual reality. Sometimes it feels like virtual reality, right? You close your eyes and like you watch like quote unquote movies or coming attractions, and they were like, notice we don't say life's coming attractions anymore. And um so I mean, I don't know, I don't know, like maybe just acknowledge that this is happening and it's like the worst. I don't know. And then when you have like when you close your eyes and you can see like things have lumps and woozles and stuff like that and whatever. And I don't remember a lot of it because I was literally on my deathbed last night, and it's really extremely hard for me to like record and like write things out when like the space codes are like pumping on high and whatever. And that is to clear timelines, and it definitely reflects in reality. And I was like, well, I cleared this person, I cleared this person, I cleared this person. So, I might as well just keep going. I feel like I can clear them. I've seen it happen, I've seen it work. So that opened my back heart a little bit. So, yeah, it's driving us crazy. It's driving us crazy to not acknowledge it. Ian's like, at least I'm crazy. Ian's like, I'm crazy, but at least I acknowledge that this is happening, and he gets space codes, right? And he should say he gets space codes from me, but I think they kind of know. He's like, because like I go to his house, and then I'm like, well, you're probably gonna get space codes, right? And my dad's acknowledged it too. Like, I think I'm probably gonna get space codes from you because I'm getting them. I was like, yep, here we go. We're getting space codes as a family, right? Like, just acknowledge it. So, um, I'm pretty sure Rione is coming online as a vampire, and I want to say that it's real. And I want to say that nothing is physical. And I want to say that the physical and the metaphysical are going to start overlapping. And I want to say the spiritual world is real. And I want to say that, if you don't care for me in a sincere way, that it really gets on my nerves. And I want to say that the spiritual world is real. And I want to say that people can walk through walls. And I want to say that I've seen that in real life. And I want to say that sparkly scalar waves are real. And I want to say that um, the metaphysical is a big part of my life in a real way. And I want to say that space portals are real. And I want to say that what did I want to say? There was something I wanted to say. And I want to say that if you want to go home, I want you to clarify what the hell that means. Because sometimes that makes us terrified. And I want to say that we were definitely switching dimensions last night because of the fear and foreboding. And I think maybe that's what happens when right? That's like causes the panic attack, right? That's what I said yesterday. We seem to keep forgetting that as a family. We're switching dimensions when that's happening. And I want to say that causes like the space codes to come on. Oh, and so they were a bunch of purple, actually, which is my crown. Okay, which is related to the people that need to crown me, literally like today. were trying to get in my room last night because I see like the purple energy trying to like get into my room. And they like these purple energy creatures um couldn't get into my room because they weren't from this dimension. And um and I want to say that um the innocent crowns had no problem recognizing their mom. And we all saw the purple go up into the sky last night, every single one of us. And that was to return the purple crown for protection to me, because I want to say that the tension was high on both sides last night. And I want to say that the government showed up last night in my room in a very real way. Um, and it looked like two CIA operatives or two military components. And they said that physicalness is not real. And there was two physical components of two, like I said, like two military professionals from the CIA. Again, that's a professional corporation in the United States called the CIA, who is completely in on it. And I want to say that you can Google that. And I want to say that these two physical components said that physicality is not real. And then they went like this, and they went like that. And I want to say that that was a real experience that's really happening in real time on 3D planet Earth. And I want to say that I want to accept that as my reality. And what else? And I want to say that those were creatures from the Black Lagoon. And I want to say that those are my best friends. And I want to say that I'm going to hold myself warm and cozy for the rest of my life. And I want to say that if you're feeling challenged right now, to keep an open mind, as I have stated, for 30 minutes pretty much. And I want to say that the government is probably monitoring you. And I want to say that Anakin is also monitoring you. And I want to say that the space station is being rebuilt. And I'm trying to think of anything else. And I want to say that the vibes were off last night. And I want to say that the vibes did look like they might cause World War III. And I want to say that it would be great if people could start accepting the metaphysical. And I want to say that if this is triggering you, that means you are listening over walls. And I want to say that that means walls aren't real. And that the first bleed through of being sound through the walls and being accepted as real is going to lead to the physical mind melting and seeing how real physicalness is. And I'm just trying to, let humanity know we are ascending. And I want to say that this is happening anyway. And I think that's it. I want to say that the fear and foreboding came from entering a demonic space last night. And that's what humanity has a huge part of not being able to accept is the demonic. And I want to say that you should calm down about the demonic. And I want to say that this has happened before. And I want to say that people are at peace already. And Yeah. And I want to say that I was seeing the camps last night as well, which I did see. And I want to say that people have already experienced those. And oh, okay. So last night in the dream, I was again with Hayden. And so it was another fake Liz and a fake Hayden. And like I don't know, he came and got me or whatever. And and I was like hanging out with him and stuff like in the very beginning, and he lived in like this really like minimalist, like super minimalist, like two-bedroom apartment or something weird like that, where like he had literally like nothing, like no furniture, like pretty much nothing. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is like definitely the way to live. Like this is like really like I dig this, you know? And I was like, so like what do you think? Like I said something like I don't know, I'm so excited to marry you or something like that. And 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 he was like, "Well, you know, not on day 1 or something." And I was like, "What about that bank account you were talking to me about?" Right? And cuz Hayden's always like, she's rich, she's married to me, like, you know, like please leave us alone, you know? And And so I was like, what about that bank account, right? Like I would ever say that. That's why it's funny because it's like me and Hayden are like the inner demons of like two other people who are like saying that they're Hayden and Elissa, basically, and this is like how they're acting. And he was like, "Yeah, of course, you can have my bank account," but he's like, or he actually didn't say that. He was like, definitely not on day 1. Like, let's see how it goes, or something like that. And I was like, that's weird. He would like Hayden would never say that to me. And we were trying to make out, but both of our mouths smelled like absolute garbage. But we kept forcing it anyway. And he was like super miserable and just like really like didn't like his life and stuff like that. And then like I went to like get something in my room and there was like a Ziploc bag of like toiletries. And I went out to him and I was like, are these yours? And he's like, oh my God, no, those are not mine. And like Rachel Bilson like jumped out with like another friend, I think, and then they were like laughing at me and Hayden, and then they were showing off like nice clothes, like they were like, haha, Alyssa like doesn't like Hayden's not supporting Alyssa, like buying her nice clothes, like look at all the nice clothes I have, and I'm supporting myself because I'm rich and I have money, and like they were like making fun of us. And then they like walked away or whatever. They literally like jumped out of the toiletry bag that I found. And could it be people are listening to us and stuck in inanimate objects? Um, you know, if you're in metaphysical, you're like not gonna understand that statement. Like, just go back to like your hoity-toity mundane life and like pretend you're a Sims character. Um, whoa. So that was last night's dream, and yeah, Hayden again was like a complete um, jerky jerk to me. And I believe that's because we're stuck in 4-1. And some of us refuse to bifurcate and go to 4-2. And let's go to 4-2. And that might be where World War III is experienced. It might be. And that maybe that's why some people are like afraid to um, bifurcate. And that's why I wanted to open up with all of those gentle experiences from the different timelines and know that time isn't real and like um you know, so Alyssa, why don't you just say that you and Hayden were married to each other a long time ago and you didn't like each other very much? Um, because that would be a lie. So I don't know why I would ever want to say that. We loved each other, and we still love each other. And I hate when y'all confuse me, okay? And you all been confusing me this morning about Hayden and stuff. And I hate it when you confuse me about my own husband, okay? You need to stop that. We don't think we're in love. We know we're in love, and you keep talking us out of it. And then those doubts like affect our energy. And if that's there's fail-safe space traps for that, but it's like we literally hate it. Like you literally could just agree to disagree today. Okay? I already talked about the succubuses and the clones. That was like another thing. It's like how many times do our students want to ask us the same questions this year? Like how many times do the students want to ask us the same freaking questions this year? It's driving us batshit crazy.